I have been covering what I believe are some of the best ETFs for maximizing dividend income with an emphasis on minimizing downside risk. Now, high income ETFs have completely taken over the market, and majority of these are covered call ETFs, which sell calls on their underlying holdings to generate premium income, which is then distributed as a dividend. Now, when investors see double-digit dividend yields, covered calls are usually the first strategy that comes to mind, but there are other ways to generate high levels of income without relying on them. There's a lesser-known strategy that has quietly matched and at times even outperformed some of the most prominent high-income funds on the market. But more importantly, it has mitigated downside risk and overall price volatility significantly better than its peers. And in today's market environment, where we're seeing heightened volatility, this fund has the potential to be a great way to maintain market exposure while managing some of that risk. And what truly impressed me is how this fund is able to strike a balance between strong growth potential and superior risk management, all while delivering a massive dividend yield of 13% distributed every month. In my opinion, this fund deserves much more attention from income investors, risk-averse investors, and more importantly, retirees who seek to maximize the income potential of their portfolios while mitigating risk. So in today's video, I'm breaking down an ETF that has flipped the income model entirely, and it has historically captured less than half the volatility of the S&P 500. And the craziest part, it doesn't own a single share of stock. If you care about income stability and actually managing risk, you are going to want to see how this ETF works. And this brings me to WTPI, which is the Wisdom Tree Equity Premium Income Fund. I actually covered this fund nearly 5 months ago, but since then there have been some crucial updates we need to discuss. And when a fund I've covered not only performs exceptionally well, but actually exceeds my expectations, especially through a market like this with record-breaking bullish momentum and extreme volatility, that's when it really starts to solidify its place as a potential long-term hold. On top of that, I'll be sharing what I believe is a very powerful two-fund combination that I think creates one of the strongest dividend compounding growth machines for the long term. So definitely stick around until the end. But first, let's take a look at the profile. This fund was actually established nearly a decade ago, but you probably haven't heard of it until recently. And that is because historically, it didn't distribute a dividend yield. Originally, the fund managers were just focused on risk-managed equity exposure, but they recognized that the market has shifted. Investors, especially retirees, want consistent cash flow. So back in 2022, they strategically pivoted. They positioned the fund squarely within the high income category, and most importantly, they started distributing dividends on a monthly basis. And by the way, this is information I find using Seeking Alpha articles. When you look at the fund's dividend history, you can clearly see the massive shift that took place, and that decision has been extremely beneficial. The fund has experienced massive growth in assets under management. You can see here the rapid growth in AUM just over the past 2 years. And in my opinion, AUM growth is one of the most important signs of a fund's efficacy and the market's confidence in its strategy. Now, before we dive into the fund's total returns and historical performance, we have to discuss its holding breakdown first because this is where we figure out what to compare WTPI with. Like I mentioned at the beginning, WTPI does not hold shares of stock. Instead, the fund primarily holds US Treasuries and a floating rate Treasury ETF. These positions provide stable income and interest, which helps boost the overall yield. But the remainder of the portfolio that drives that 13% yield is allocated to the S&P 500 index put options. Yes, put options, not call options. And that makes the fund's total returns tied to the performance of the S&P 500. Now, isn't buying puts a bearish bet? Isn't that betting that the markets will crash? And usually yes, but WTPI isn't buying puts, it is selling them. So how does the fund work? Well, in simple terms, the fund sells put options on the S&P 500, SPYI, but not just one, typically 2 put options with 1 month to expiration. I'll explain that more in just a second. When you sell a put option, you are basically making a bullish bet. Your stance is that the underlying asset, the S&P 500, won't fall below a certain price by a certain date. And that certain price is the strike price of the put option that you sell. For example, if the S&P 500 sits at 770, I can decide to sell a put option at a strike price of 720 with an expiration date of around 30 days. I receive premium income for placing this bet, and that essentially says that I think the S&P 500 won't fall below 720 within the next 30 days. So you want the market to go up or stay flat, or at least not crash hard. Now, the next step is the income target. And this is arguably the most important part. The fund targets about 2.5% income per month. Every set of options they sell is chosen specifically to try and generate roughly 2.5% in premium every single month. That is huge. When you annualize that, it translates to roughly a 30% yield. But the fund managers are smart here. Instead of distributing all of that as a dividend yield, they are holding more than half of it to accumulate the fund's net asset value. This allows the fund's NAV to remain steady. You can see that clearly when you look at the fund's price return, which excludes its dividend distributions. But when you simply click on total return, you can see how much dividends the fund has distributed. Every single chart, graph, and comparison tool you're seeing in this video comes from Seeking Alpha. I use it every single day for ETF and stock analysis, and at this point, it is probably the most essential tool in my investing toolkit. You guys can use my link down below or scan the QR code on screen to get $30 off their annual premium plan with a 7-day free trial. And for a limited time, you guys can get $160 off the premium and Alpha Picks bundle. Alpha Picks is their flagship stock picking portfolio, which uses momentum and quantitative metrics to identify stocks with the strongest growth potential. Since inception, the portfolio has returned over 360%. You get in-depth analysis on every stock pick, including portfolio allocation percentage, total returns, and when each position is opened or closed. Of course, past performance does not guarantee future results, and this is not financial advice. I'm simply sharing one of the tools I personally use to enhance my own research. If you're interested, definitely take advantage of the discount while the offer is still available. Now let's get back to the video. I've always said that NAV stability is the most important thing when it comes to high income ETFs. Sacrificing NAV for income does not play out well in the long term. When you look at the fund's yield on cost chart, which showcases the trend in dividend yield relative to net asset value, it is trending in a very strong upward direction from left to right. This indicates that it is a strong high income ETF with NAV growth. A flat chart is also a sign of a great high income ETF, but you want to avoid a chart that is trending downward from left to right, as that showcases NAV deterioration. Now, as mentioned, at any given time, the fund holds 2 put contracts. They have monthly expirations, but they roll them bi-weekly. Basically, 1 week before the contract expires, they close it out and sell a new one. This keeps the income generation extremely consistent and predictable, and that is what I love about the fund. Now, the strategy sounds great on paper, but how has it actually played out in the real world? Surprisingly, very well. I want to compare WTPI against some of the heavy hitters in the space, so we're going to look at JEPI, XYLD, and SPYI. Over the past 3 years, WTPI has actually outperformed prominent dividend ETFs specifically designed to provide high income, including JEPI, while still providing strong risk management. But since WTPI's strategy is tied to the S&P 500, it makes the most sense to compare it to the covered call versions of the S&P 500, such as XYLD and SPYI. WTPI has delivered significantly stronger returns than XYLD. Now, compared to SPYI, which is another favorite of mine, WTPI has slightly lagged over the past 3 years by about 5%. However, in the last year, the total returns have been practically identical, both returning roughly 17%. And here's where WTPI wins. It captured those returns with much less price volatility. Now, let's take a look at the sell-off tests. During the October sell-off in 2025, notice the downside protection. WTPI cushioned the downside of the S&P 500 by roughly 2.5%. SPYI only cushioned it by around 1%. In the April sell-off, the fund managed to cushion the volatility of the S&P 500 by more than 50%, losing only 10% versus 15%. This outperformed SPYI, which lost around 13%. But when you look at the returns since then, they are almost perfectly in line. Now, what's very interesting is that over the last 3 months, WTPI has actually managed to outperform the overall market by roughly 3%. And that is simply because there has been elevated volatility in the markets while the market has stayed flat and choppy. The put writing strategy thrives here because you are capitalizing on high premiums and boosting total returns, rather than simply maintaining exposure to the market and capping your upside with covered calls. And this brings me to the fund's beta. Now, for context, beta measures volatility relative to the overall market. So a beta of 1 means that the fund's volatility is equal to the market. When it's above 1, it means that it is more volatile, and when it's below 1, it means that it is less volatile. And WTPI has a much lower beta relative to SPYI, currently sitting at around 0.5 compared to 0.77. This shows that it experiences significantly lower volatility. And for dividend investors, that stability is gold. Now, there is one massive technical detail we have to cover, because some of you might be worried and thinking, well, what if they get assigned the shares? What if the market crashes and they are forced to buy the S&P 500 at a high price? They won't, because the fund uses index options, not stock or ETF options. With index options, there's no assignment of shares. It is cash settled. It's clean, it's efficient, and it avoids the messiness of holding depreciating assets during a crash. So where does this leave us? Is WTPI better than a covered call fund like JEPI or SPYI? In my opinion, it does truly offer a unique approach, but the real magic lies in the risk management. Because the strategy is so straightforward, but also because they are holding treasuries, so the base value of the fund is incredibly stable. And when you combine that stable base with the income from the options, you get a fund that historically captures less than half the volatility of the S&P 500, but with the ability to provide exceptional total returns. Now, given the lower volatility and high income potential of this fund, I think there's one fund that could pair extremely well with it. This one is designed to capture stronger market momentum while adding another layer of risk management through active management, and that is CGDV. A simple 60-40 split between these two funds has historically outperformed the overall market, with significantly lower volatility. And at the same time, this combination could generate an annual dividend yield of around 9%, with income distributed every single month. I'll break down this 2-ETF strategy in much more detail in another video. Now, no investment is perfect, and with WTPI, you need to watch out for liquidity and taxation. It still lacks the deep liquidity of giants like JEPI, meaning you might face slightly wider bid-to-ask spreads or higher transaction costs until the fund grows further. More importantly, the dividends are likely taxed as ordinary income rather than at the favorable capital gains rates. However, this is not an issue if you hold the fund in a Roth IRA where dividends are tax-free, or a traditional IRA where taxes are deferred until withdrawal. And that is all for this one. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye! This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not financial, investment, tax, or legal advice. Discussions of ETFs, investing strategies, market updates, or specific funds are general, not tailored to your financial situation, and should not be relied upon for decision-making. Investing involves significant risks, including total loss of principal, and past performance does not guarantee future results. I am not a registered financial advisor. My content reflects personal research and publicly available information. I may earn affiliate commissions from mentioned products or links disclosed per FTC guidelines, but these do not influence my opinions. Always consult a licensed financial professional and verify information independently. By watching this, you agree I am not liable for any losses or consequences from your actions. International viewers should consult local regulations.